afternoon, everyone. I am Dalame La Rosa, and I'm going to tackle about the criticism on Marxism. Also, I'm going to discuss about the general and the epistemological and empirical under the criticism. So first, let us know what is criticism. So when we say criticism, this is the expression of disapproval of someone or something based on perceived faults or mistakes. We can say that the criticism is the construction of a judgment about the negative qualities of someone or something. Criticism of Marxism has come from various political ideologies and academic disciplines. This includes general criticism about lack of internal consistency, criticism related to historical materialism, that it is a type of historical determinism, the necessity of a suppression of individual rights, issues with the implementation of communism, and economic issues such as the distortion or the absence of price signals and reduced incentives. In addition, empirical and epistemological problems are frequently identified. Some Marxists have criticized the academic institutionalization of Marxism for being too shallow and detached from political action. Zimbabwean Trotskyist Alex Kalinikos, himself a professional academic, stated that its practitioners remind one of Narcissus, who in the Greek legend fell in love with his own reflection. Sometimes, it is necessary to devote time to clarifying and developing the concept that we use. But indeed for Western Marxists, this has become an end in itself. The result is a body of writings incomprehensible to all but a tiny minority of highly qualified scholars. Additionally, some intellectual critics of Marxism contest certain assumptions prevalent in Marx's thought and Marxism after him, without rejecting Marxist politics. Other contemporary supporters of Marxism argue that many aspects of Marxist thought are viable but that the corpus is incomplete or outdated. Regarding certain aspects of economic, political, or social theory, they may combine some Marxist concepts with the ideas of and other theories such as Max Weber. The Frankfurt School is one example. Under the criticism, we have the general. And in general, it says that philosopher and historian of ideas Leszek Kotakowski pointed out that the Marx theory is incomplete or ambiguous in many places and could be applied in many contradictory ways without manifestly infringing its principles. Specifically, he considers the laws of dialectics as fundamentally erroneous, stating that some are truism with no specific Marxist content, other philosophical dogmas that cannot be provided by scientific means, and some just nonsense. He believes that some Marxist laws can be interpreted differently, but that these interpretations is still in general fall into one of the two categories of error. Next, we have the Ocasius theorem shows that if capitalists use cost-cutting techniques and real wages do not increase, the rate of profit must rise, which casts doubt on Marx's views that the rate of profit would tend to fall. The allegations of inconsistency have been a large part of Martian economics and the debates around it since the 1970s. Andrew Kleeman argues that this undermines Marx's critics and the correction of the alleged inconsistencies because internally inconsistent theories cannot be corrected by the definitions. Next, we have the epistemological and empirical. Critics of Marxism claims that the Marx predictions have failed, with some pointing towards the GDP, or the gross domestic product per capita, generally increasing in capitalist economies compared to less market-oriented economics. The capitalist economies not suffering worsening economic crisis leading to the overthrow of the capitalist system and communist revolutions, not occurring in the most advanced capitalist nations, but instead in undeveloped regions. It has also been criticized for allegedly resulting in lower living standards in the nation to capitalist countries, a claim that has been disputed. In his books, The Poverty of Historicism and Conjunctures and Refutations, philosopher of science Karl Popper criticized the explanatory power and validity of historical materialism. Popper believed that Marxism had been initially scientific in that Marx had postulated a genuinely predictive theory when these predictions were not borne out. Popper argues that the theory avoided falsification by adding ad hoc hypotheses that made it compatible with that facts. Because of this, Popper asserted a theory that was initially genuinely scientific degenerated into pseudo-scientific dogma.